what do we think about Mercedes Moné adding a belt 11 to her title reign?
I love it.
So this is what I wanted to talk about. This is what I wanted to talk about. So this main topic is another one of the reasons why I'm wearing this hat right now. This whole Mercedes thing. So to correct you, Daniel, it's now actually 12. All right.
Yep. Yeah, she did capture another belt, right? I can't
capture another WPW, the Winnipeg Women's Championship. She also captured. So now she is 12 belts, Monet, or Ultimo Monet right now. Okay, so I wanted to ask all three of you guys, because I've been obviously I've been on X, looking at a lot of the fans' response, and it's really been very mixed in regards to her winning all of these titles and breaking the TBS title record. So what do you guys think of her in general winning all of these titles?
I think it's amazing because one, who else is doing this, and who else has done this? Mind you, this many belts in this decade.
All right, let me stop you right there.
In this decade, this many belts. And mind you, and I already know where Dan's going to go with this. Oh, no one's seeing these matches. No one's blah, blah. No one really cares. Nobody knows what these titles are. But it's like, we already know AEW is the land of the indie stars and the land of collaborating with other promotions. And I think it's great that she is being allowed to go all over Europe, Mexico, Japan, US, wherever, and capture these titles. And the fact that these promotions are also in agreement that she's this good and and that she's capturing these titles, one is bringing more eyes to their brand, and then two, it's undeniable that she's killing it right now. And honestly, this is what she's always wanted to do. This is mainly why she left WWE. So I think it's great. I think it's great character work.
All right. Sonny?
I think it's egg on WWE. They had her. They had Tony Storm, and they let them both go. And Storm's been tearing it up too. But Mercedes Moné, I'll go on record and say I'm part black. So for her culture and her background, she's making history today by capturing all these titles and saying, hey, you can't overcome your background and your culture and excel at what you want to do. I think she's a positive role model for fans far and near. And my main man, Gerald Bentley, Dan, actually, when he crossed the pond last year, got to meet Mercedes Moné and asked her a question at an interview conference. So I thought that was pretty neat that he saved his question for her specifically. But I don't think we'll ever see another Mercedes Moné. She's got it all together. I told Joe at the very beginning of when I started watching her, I thought she'd go a long ways. I did not imagine her going this far. But she's a trailblazer. And she'll be in the Hall of Fame one day for certain. I think WWE is gasping for breath now because they let her go when they had her actually in their camp. And that's how it goes sometimes. So I think she'll be there for a good minute.
This is how I feel about this. And I know I've said this. If she wins a belt somewhere else, does anyone really care? She's the interim. She's the interim ROH champion right now, right? That's the 12th belt, right?
Yeah, the interim.
And I understand.
Yes,
and I understand that wrestlers with her prestige, kind of like in the old days, you go to these territories and you you help a new person that comes in or whatever the case may be. But again, this is the thing that I said. When she wins all these belts, is she going to lose each one of these belts back to those territories?
That's what I'm scratching my head.
If the answer is no, what does that do for those companies?
Well, I think the answer to that question is yes. I think eventually the time is going to come where she is going to lose all these titles. I mean, she's not going to hold on to all of them forever.
Yeah,
right. She's going to lose. She's going to lose. So she's going to lose. I think we're all kind of thinking that she's going to win the AEW Women's World Title, right?
I'm hoping and praying that's not the case. And
so now you're going to turn around and have her win all these belts to lose the AEW Women's World Title, which she already lost to against Toni Storm.
See, but this is also right now. This is the question. Won the title.
These are the questions that I had. I understand that, but these are the questions that I have. She already lost to Toni Storm already. So now she's going to go up against Chris Statlander while she has 12 other titles and lose. And then turn around and then lose each one of these belts?
Well, maybe she won't lose clean. Maybe it'll be like interference.
They could easily tell the story of the loss against Chris Statlander just starts a downfall, but then she's losing every title until she finally ends up back just being TBS champion again.
I know that actually could be the smart play where it goes her losing the titles, but then it leads to her coming back.
A little bit like it's a little bit like the Hardys in a way, because the Hardys went and captured like 4 tag team titles from 4 different companies all at one time. So how's that going to work? And the Hardys are still TNA champions. They still have a belts from prior to that. So.
But again, this is a woman who has. First of all, I think she's going to get 13 belts. That's what I think they're going to go.
What's the record? What's the Ultimate Dragon record?
I think it's like.
I think
it's 11. I think it's 11.
I think it was at 11, right?
Yeah. So she's already passed that. So she's going to go for 13. Lucky number 13. I think she's going to get it. But this is my thing. If she relinquishes those titles? What does that do for all these other companies? Hey, you're not good enough to beat her, so here's the title back. I guess they can have a tournament for it. I guess that's the prestige of it. You had someone the prestigious of the level of Mercedes Mone holding that title.
Wait, are you saying she's going to just relinquish all those titles?
Because this is my point. Because you're going to have her lose 13 titles. That's my point in all this.
Well, again, according to you, no one's going to see half of these matches. Okay, so maybe they won't even highlight it.
Let me just rattle off. Let me just rattle off the titles that she has. She has the TBS Championship. She has the Rev Pro Undisputed British Women's Championship. Right. She has the Queen of the Southside Championship. She has the Owen House Foundation Tournament Cup winner. She has that. She's the CMML Women's World Champion, which I mean they have a relationship with, so we already understand that. The EWA Women's Champion. Has anybody heard of anybody that came from there?
So I looked at a lot of these
wrestling champion, which we've heard of.
Yeah, a lot of these
Bestia Women's Champion, Discovery Women's Scottish Champion, Body Slam Women's Champion, Interim ROH Champion, Winnipeg Pro Wrestling. She's gonna go back to all these places and lose the belts.
Here's the thing. Like all these promotions that you just named, like 90% of them, they're all overseas promotions.
Yeah.
So granted, you may look at it, us as the American fans, we may look at it and say, well, who cares about all these other promotions? But these countries that watch AEW give a shit.
No disrespect to those promotions, because every territory, they've earned the right to run their promotion how they want it to. What I'm saying is kind of similar. This is like because we've seen this before in wrestling. I think Austin Aries did it in TNA where he won all the titles. Kurt Angle did it when he won IGWP championships and TNA titles. I'm trying to think of somebody else who did it.
But even look at FTR though. FTR had like 4 belts at one point.
That's fine. AEW, but that's fine. 4 is manageable. But then you have 12 of these titles, and I think they're going to give her 13. What is the end game with that?
You act like any champion isn't ever going to lose their reign, you know? Like, obviously,
that's not the point. That's not the point. I expect her to lose at some point.
So
But the
is it
tournament-
more so that it's going to be 12 or 13 losses? Is that just the issue?
Yes.
What?
Yes.
Just picture this. What if she has like one match against somebody where that person says, "I want all of your titles," and then she just loses 13 titles in one match, and then that one person who's the winner then decides, "Okay, I'm not going to be like her, holding all these titles and holding these companies
What
hostage."
does
So I'm gonna
that
relinquish all these titles.
do? What does that do for all those other promotions?
Because by that
Okay,
point,
okay. Let me put it like this.
She will already have.
Let me put it like this. This is like when Kenny Omega went down to TNA, won all their titles, and then just left. What did that do for TNA?
Well, wasn't he injured though?
No, he beat Rich Swann. He won like all their titles.
Well, that was but that was just a very shitty partnership between TNA and AEW. If we're going to be realistic,
That's what I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. What is this doing if she loses? First of all, a person losing 13 belts in a row is crazy. That's insane. That's my biggest holdup with this thing. I understand what they're doing. I understand what she's doing. She's going to all these other promotions, wrestling all over the world. That's cool. I understand that. But the end game for this, for me, just doesn't make sense. Is she having better matches? Yes. That's the one thing I could say over this. People have been liking her in-ring work better.
Yeah, I mean, look at what we said. Remember her debut, and we were all like,
what is this? She's turned it around. Okay, I'm fine with the wrestling aspect, but I'm just talking about the logic and psychology of her winning all these belts.
I don't think if it gets to the point where she's losing all these titles, I don't think it affects her character, because I'm sorry, every person who wins a title will eventually lose their title. I think they have to be smart in the way that it happens. Mm-hmm. Obviously, if they go on another tour and whatever, she either goes off AEW for a bit and then has these tours to go back to all these promotions. But if it's like, boom, lose, like that's gonna. I understand that being a bad look.
See, I don't think they would do it that way though. I don't think she would have like 4 or 5 matches like within like a given like 2 weeks and then lose all 5 matches. I think like it would be like periodically over time that like she'll lose a title and maybe a month goes by, then maybe she'll lose another title. Like they could have a storyline set up where literally she doesn't win the AEW women's title and then it starts affecting her game so much that then when she goes to these other promotions to defend their title, then she'll lose one. Then
I'm just saying, I don't think that.
One.
I just don't think that's.
If these other promotions were smart, you could literally have her defend each of those titles on AEW, and that would bring even more eyes to those promotions.
I understand that point. What are the chances of that happening?
I'm just saying it's good for the relationship of the wrestling business,
I'm just saying, I don't know what the end game is. I'm pretty sure they're going to find a way to get out of it, but it's just like, to me, I think they're going to let her get 13. I think that's the smart thing to do. If you went this far with it, and I guess I can see where she can lose the titles and be like kind of like the female version of the Young Bucks right now.
Yeah. At the end of the day, everybody's going to end up losing their title at some point. Yeah, she has a shit ton of titles right now, and even if she goes on like a losing streak, at the end of the day, she had won all those titles in one standing. It's still a magnificent feat in itself, It's literally like Roman Reigns literally holding the title for 4 years. When's the last time we ever saw that in the past like 20 years? Yeah. When's the last time we saw somebody actually hold 12 belts?
Yeah. So the reason why I asked the question is because it was really about, because like you said, Daniel, that she's now, as a result of Wrestle Dream, now it's official. She's going to be facing Chris Statlander for the AEW Women's title. And for the life of me, I'm just hoping and praying that Chris Statlander retains the title.
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you why. Because like you said, Daniel, she's already won 12 belts, and you're thinking now she's going after like the big title, the main title, AEW Women's title. It makes no sense for her to then lose after already accomplishing what she's accomplished and winning 12 belts. But at the same time, if you have Chris Statlander lose, then it's going to go to the fucking point that I've been making for the longest time, that a lot of people have been making about AEW's women's division. You got Toni Storm, you got Mercedes, and then you got literally got everybody else. You're literally going to kill your whole division if you have Chris Statlander lose within 2 months.
And,
like you booked them.
Brian, I'm sorry to break it to you. And guess what's going to happen? Guess what's going to happen? It's going to happen. They're going to make her beat Chris Statlander.
You're gonna kill your women's division if you have her win the women's title at this point. And if that was the case, then you should have had her beat Toni Storm at All In. Then
exactly.
Like that's what should have happened. Now,
all right.
That's the only reason why I'm saying like they're booking themselves into a corner with this, because Chris Statlander, it was a surprise to see her win the title. Yeah. But it was a great surprise. You know, she's a former TBS champion. She's one of their top women on the program. Even though her character has been inconsistent, she still has great performances. And when the booking is right and they do decide, okay, she's a babyface, okay, she's a heel, she always does deliver. The problem is they just flip-flop her so damn much that you don't know what her character is. But when they settle on it, it's good. So I don't want her to lose the AEW Women's title. First of all, she just won it. Number one. Yeah. And like I said, that moment was such a surprise that I don't want it to be diminished.
We don't need it to be a Zelina Vega U.S. title win.
literally, we really don't need that.
Brian, that's what I'm telling you. Brian, that's what I'm telling you is going to happen. They're going to crush the
They can't do that.
Yeah.
Let's think this logically. She lost to Toni Storm at Dallas, right?
Mm-hmm.
She's going to turn around and lose to Chris Statlander and go 0-2 in those categories.
She's not losing clean. She's not losing clean.
That would be better than her winning the title, in my opinion. Because you're gonna, like I said, you're gonna hurt your women's division is already set up as such that you got these two powerhouse women and everybody else.
Brian, we have argued on the show for a while. When have they cared about that?
It's that's the problem.
So again, I just want to get the psychology that you guys are going with here. You're gonna let a person who came into your women's division from a bigger place go on this run with a secondary title, win 12 belts, and then lose another opportunity?
That's why I said them booking this match is them booking themselves into a corner, because realistically, no matter which way you go, she's
not losing that match clean. She is not losing. It's either going to be a disqualification or someone's going to cost her the win. That it has to go that way.
They're going to cost Mercedes Mone.
I see either Toni Storm coming out to mess it up, to then make it like a triple threat or whatever. Or somebody
isn't she going into a tag team with Mina Shirakawa now?
We don't know yet.
Nah, Lewis, that's exactly what they're going. I thought I was the only one that caught that, but that's exactly
I saw it.
So again, I'm just
going back to the women's division. If Toni Storm's not going to be a part of it, this is where you can throw somebody else to screw Mercedes, and that's how you build another star. Whether it's Willow, whether it's what's her face? She used to be with Brody King and whatever. Not Mariah May. What the hell was it? Julia Hart, whoever,
I'm just going to say this again. You guys are going to let a person win 12 belts and lose another opportunity at the title that she's been chasing.
But you say lose another, like she hasn't been winning, though. She's been winning.
Lewis, I'm just going to say this again.
She's winning nonstop. Yes, at some point, she's going to lose.
I got you, Dan. I'm listening.
I'm just saying, this is what I'm talking about, because she was already winning when she was going to All In Dallas.
But winning. All she has been doing is winning, though.
Who has she beaten that matters?
Their entire fucking women's division right now.
Exactly.
You just said the women's division is only 2 people and then everybody else. It doesn't matter.
That's the reason why it's like that right now. That's why the women's division is trash, because literally you book these 2 women so damn strong that the rest of the division doesn't have a chance. And now you want to add Chris Statlander to that list to continue with these 2 powerhouses just dominating everybody.
Yes, because that's the only thing that makes sense. Oh my goodness!
So,
I'm just saying.
So if Mercedes does win, you know that means that there's literally nobody in the division right now that has any chance of beating her. Then they haven't booked up anybody. Now,
that can be this
right now.
I think that's the better story of her winning 13 and her having all this power, and then somebody coming in trying to beat her. The chase is better than the grab and defending and stuff like that. I feel like that's what her role is going to be.
Okay. But sometimes, I've seen this sometimes in WWE, like whenever you have like a dominant champion, you always have like those one or two or three guys that like that like are coming, so to say. So it's like that like, okay, this person just keeps getting built up. Now that when they eventually face the champion, they have a chance. They haven't done that with anybody in AEW's women's division.
Maybe it's
that's going to be that.
Maybe it's those 12 other women who want to get their belts back.
I have no idea.
I don't know. But let's for the sake of time here, let's go run through the rest of this. Right. Chris Statlander retains over Toni Storm. So Chris Statlander, not a paper champion.
Toni Storm. She got a clean win.
Well, according to you, in a month she's gonna be.
Hey, I don't make the rules.
You also don't watch the program as well.
I see enough. Hey, I know if a person wins 12 belts and they're about to feed her a 13th. I know a paper champion, and I know the reason why they just took the belt off Toni Storm and didn't have Mercedes Moné beat her.
And again, she was busy because she was busy.
Yeah, exactly. And again, they made it so freaking obvious on the show that like, okay, this is your team. As soon as they embraced each other, I'm like, okay, there go your first AEW Women's Tag Team Champions right there. And again, keep Toni and Mercedes on top. Keep everybody below.
Just another belt for Mercedes Moné to get. Just another belt for Mercedes Moné to get.